Hi, my name is Lee Chun Yip, and I'm going to present the data exploration part for the project. So generally, there is no missing data file in the dataset, and then we try to identify the present or outlier in the dataset using the box plot visualization. And based on the box plot, we able to identify the outliers in two variables, which are ALT after 24 weeks and RNA 12. Then we handle the outlier with the visualization method. In other words, we replace the outlier with the next highest value or the next lowest value in the variable. And after that, we have performed the one-way ANOVA test on all the numerical features in the dataset. So the table show are all the numerical features. So generally, the p-value for all the numerical features are larger than 0.05, except the feature BMI. In other words, it means that there is a significant difference between the mean BMI for different class level of baseline histological staging. Furthermore, we have performed the univariate analysis on the dataset. So for the numerical variables, we have displayed it with the histogram, whereas for the categorical variable, we have displayed it using the bar chart. As for the numerical variable, most of the variables are generally evenly distributed, except the variables such as the RNA12, RNA-EOT, and RNA-EF. So these three variables are showing a positive skew distribution. As for the categorical variable, the data distribution for each class label are relatively balanced. Besides that, we also perform the bivariate analysis in this study. So in this part, we have studied the ALT level across the gender and RNA level across the gender. So for the ALT level, both gender ALT level fall sharply at 72 weeks. And as for the RNA level across the gender, the RNA level for both genders fall sharply at 12 weeks. Another observation we can see is that the male patient generally have a higher level of RNA than female throughout the treatment process, except during the end of the treatment. And in this bivariate analysis, we also study the ALT level across the each group and the RNA level across the each group. So for the ALT level across the each group, it shows a similar trends at ALT level across the gender. As for the RNA level across the each group is 50 to 55 and 55 to 61 have the first two highest RNA level at the beginning of treatment, but ends up they have the lowest level of RNA at the end of the treatment. Another observation we can see is that each group with each 35 to 40 and 40 to 45 have the first two lowest RNA level at the beginning of the treatment, but ends up they have the highest level of RNA at the end of the treatment. And before the data modeling process, we have performed the data discretization on the numerical variable in the dataset and data conversion on the categorical variable in the dataset. The table on the left-hand side shows the range of value for each discretized numerical variable. As for the categorical variable, we show in the table on the right-hand side, we have replaced the binary label for each categorical variable with a proper label. So at last, we also perform the chi-square test of independence on the data. So the chi-square test is actually one of the feature selection method. In this study, we try to identify a subset of features that able to help in predict the target variable which is the baseline histological staging in our study. However, based on the chi-square test outcome, the p-value for all the variables are larger than 0.05. In other words, it means that all the variables are independent of the baseline histological staging. So therefore, there is no subset of feature is selected in this process. That's all for me. Thank you.